Did you know one man personally executed 7,000 people in just 28 nights? In 1940, Vasily Blokhin arrived at Katyn Forest wearing a leather butcher's apron and cap. He was Stalin's most trusted executioner, and he had a job to finish. Polish officers were led one by one into soundproof rooms, unaware of their fate. Blokhin used a German Walther pistol, shooting each victim in the base of the skull. He worked 10-hour shifts with industrial precision, like a factory worker. Each execution took seconds. Walk in, position the gun, pull the trigger, next victim. 7,000 individual murders in less than a month. The efficiency was terrifying. Each life ended with cold calculation. Years later, Blokhin turned to alcohol, haunted by what he had done. Decades passed before the mass graves were discovered. Thousands of bodies, each with a single bullet wound to the skull. The world finally learned the truth about Stalin's killing machine. One man's work had become history's most efficient massacre. Did you know the US made a deal with one of history's most twisted doctors to cover up mass murder? In occupied Manchuria during World War II, the Japanese built what they called a research facility. Unit 731 was run by Dr. Ishii Shiro, who claimed to conduct medical experiments. But these weren't experiments. They were torture sessions disguised as science. Prisoners were strapped outside in freezing temperatures, sometimes 40 degrees below zero. Guards would pour water over their arms and legs until they froze completely solid. Then came the so-called treatment tests. They would strike the frozen limbs with hammers, watching them shatter like glass. The screams echoed through the compound as doctors took notes. Over 3,000 people died in these chambers of horror. When the war ended, instead of prosecuting Ishii, America cut a secret deal: full immunity in exchange for all his research data. The monster walked free, and his victims were forgotten. Evil protected by those who should have delivered justice. Did you know a chemist accidentally created humanity's most horrific weapon while trying to save crops? In 1916, German scientist Fritz Haber developed what he believed was a revolutionary pesticide. His compound killed insects instantly and seemed like the perfect solution to agricultural problems. But by 1941, Nazi officers discovered something terrifying about his creation. It was equally deadly to humans. Concentration camp commandants began secret experiments, testing different concentrations and delivery methods. On September 3, 1941, they conducted the first human trial at Auschwitz. 600 Soviet prisoners were locked in basement cells as the gas was released. Within minutes, all were dead. The bureaucrats were thrilled. They had found their perfect killing machine. Over 1 million people would die from Haber's pesticide and gas chambers. When he learned the truth, the inventor was devastated by his accidental contribution to genocide.